So, I have a question. What? In case you've been living under a rock since October, Dispatch, described on Steam as a superhero workplace comedy where choices matter, is quite frankly the shit right now. And well deserved, honestly. You can tell that the folks at Ad Hoc and Critical Role actually put their entire ass into making this project happen. Character designs, the animation, the music, the voice acting, I mean, we'll get back to that, but you'll get to experience a truly engaging story that's likely to be at least a little different than everyone else's. I adore these characters and this story, like so much for real. I'm a part of this fandom now, all right? See these guys? That's my family. See this woman here? Now you don't type lady? That's literally my girlfriend. Sorry. I just need it to be known that I think that this shit rules, all right? But while it is the shit right now, for the last like 3 weeks at this point, it has been making me feel like I'm going absolutely fucking insane. Okay, it's not that serious, but still, you know that feeling, right? When everyone is loving something, they're very vocal about it, you want to see what the fuss is about, and then you see what the fuss is about, and then you're like, the whole time I was playing this game, I just kept asking the same question over and over again. What? I'm just kidding. I actually kept asking, why? You guys remember Telltale games, right? 𝗰𝗿𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗰𝗲, Batman, Tales from the Borderlands, literally The Walking Dead. I'm gonna use that example the most. Stuff like that. These kinds of games were huge pieces of gaming culture when they were first coming out. Like, I remember every update of The Walking Dead being such a big deal. Oh my god. I was always so anxiously awaiting the next part to come out. I had to know what happened. These kinds of games were mostly a cinematic experience. I mean, the chapters are literally even called episodes, with some gameplay and quick time events woven in to keep the player engaged with the story and give you a sense of, oh shit, all these characters are people with feelings and memories, and something I say or do could potentially make someone love or hate me, or straight up just tolerate me. Maybe they'll have a dream where they sleep with me or something. I don't know, just a random example. These games are usually a story told through, I'd say, 80% cutscenes where you decide on the main character's behavior with 20% gameplay inside and in between. They also all have a common through line. Your choices matter. They'll have you make some pretty intense, quick decisions that your whole group of friends or enemies will have an opinion on. It's like you could play an episode of The Walking Dead and influence not really how the story as a whole goes, but how your character navigates it. Which might sound like nonsense, since the way a character reacts to a story is literally how the story is going. I've confused myself, I think. Imagine an episode of The Zombie Show where the main character, being the audience surrogate, actually acts in a way that doesn't make you scream at the TV for once, like, why didn't you kiss Daryl? The world will go on no matter the decision you make. So I guess in the grand scheme, the choices don't matter, but the game's story is more about the characters' relationships and arcs and group politics. So they do matter? Wait, all of this to say, Telltale was seeing huge success after they did The Walking Dead. Surely there's nothing that the higher-ups at this company would do that would be literally so devastating for their creatives and employees and... Huh. I hope at least some of the best creatives that worked at Telltale end up banding together to make an independent studio. Now that'd be awesome. Now, I'm not gonna spoil everything in this story. I sincerely think you should go experience it for yourself, but there will be spoilers in this video. Also, there was low-key one in the beginning already, so for the final time, you have been warned. I was so locked in on this story that it pissed me off. In my opinion, it's so good. Like, dude, Toxic has his full dong out. It's fun, it's dramatic, there's romance in there if you're into that. You don't even have to choose the romantic options. Shout out my Arrow Ace viewers. Look, I'm always hesitant to share my opinions about art. I mean, hey, look at my upload schedule. Especially stuff that's focused on writing. I honestly have a weird relationship with the prospect of writing in general. Anytime someone talks about critiquing the writing of any form of media, my brain has always automatically been like, okay, pretentious. But I've been phasing out whatever the hell that is. I even started to create and write my own stories and video games, and it's awesome. Everyone should give creative writing a shot. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that I think I might just be easy to please sometimes. Like, I'm not saying the writing in this game is perfect. There were plenty of times where I rolled my eyes and out loud said, Jesus Christ. Specifically the one scene where Robert mockingly calls Prism
Nicki Minaj
and
Cardi C.
Like, I don't know, man. The black in me heard that shit and immediately went, I'm just saying, the character arcs, the jokes, the banter, everything, I think, was really well written. And I gave a lot of a shit about all of these characters by the time I was done with this game. So the writing and story isn't what I'm confused about. So what is it? It's definitely not the animation and cinematography. The visuals in this game are stellar. It's such a pretty game. Kind of looks like it was made in a Goo engine adjacent style. The character designs are so fucking fun and hot. Hello? I love these designs so much, I'm probably gonna get the digital deluxe upgrade because I need more official art of these characters, especially, well, you know what I'm gonna say. Alright, so not the art direction. Was it the voice acting that got me confused? Dude, no way. The voice actors they got for this cast are just the top of the line video game, TV, anime, whatever voices. The lead role of Robert is literally played by Aaron Paul, so no notes on that. Matt Mercer? That's actually Alex Lee from Millennials. Travis Willingham? How about more like Knuckles the Echidna, actually? Freaking Laura Bailey? That's literally Trunks, dude. Although I will say, and preface in case it needs to be said here, I'm no casting director or voice director, so not only should you take this next part with the most tiny grain of salt, but also with the most gigantic asterisk you've ever seen. But dude, what are we talking about? Why is Moist critical in this game?
You gonna eat those Twinks?
I mean, he did good as a voice actor, but hearing his voice low-key took me out of it at first, and I may have let Sonar go from the team about it, but later on I actually really liked them, so I mean, fuck it, right? Just kidding, no I didn't. This guy fucking sucks. I've played the game a few more times since initially making this video, and every single time I've cut Sonar. Can you blame me for making that decision? Let's be so for real here. I have between option number 1, who is canonically a crypto rug pulling pump and dumper, a con man, right? Who's also a fanboy of a CEO. Dude. And number B, quite literally, an ex-mafia assassin who's essentially never failed killing someone that she was paid to kill. How is this even up for debate? Like Thought Squad playing Prism at least makes sense for the character.
I feel like not like, oh, I'm just a rapper person. I just make songs about my coochie.
But what the hell is Young Gravy doing in this cast as the Big Mud Man? And once more, as a black man, what are we doing with this accent, bro?
Don't disappear on me.
I'd go with both. Or do some friendly fire.
What's it going to be this time?
It's low-key giving black scent to me. Let me know if you feel the same way. Also, it should go without saying, but if you're not black, this part isn't for you, and literally don't answer. It's like when an overall pretty good animated movie has Awkwafina voicing a character for some reason. You know, I don't know. As a POC voice actor trying to book literally anything out here, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit. One more thing, just to cover every possible base here. If everyone on this cast auditioned for the role that they got, then everything I said is out the window. Not that it like matters what I think, but still. I don't know how the casting process went, and the creatives in charge of running this kind of thing have every right to cast whoever they please, audition or not. I, unfortunately, also have every right to be a little bit upset and possibly even discouraged at potentially another example of celebrities being given a role that could have gone to specifically a voice actor instead. Although that's more of a greater issue with show business and having connections and not necessarily with ad hoc or Critical Role. I don't know shit, alright? I don't know if Critical Role even had any hand in the casting process, but everyone's a voice actor at that company, so I don't know, maybe it influenced some of the casting decisions? I'll never know. you know, unless someone fucking tells me. Whatever. People can do whatever they want and cast whoever they want, okay? Even if the casting is a little questionable to me and made me roll my eyes sometimes, the seasoned actors were already going to be great, and the newer ones did a good job with their performances, so it didn't ruin the experience for me. Speaking of the experience, have you noticed something? Or rather, a lack of something? Wait, where's the gameplay? Now, because I'm a bad YouTuber, and also for the sake of drama, I haven't really explained the gist of the plot in this game and the whole reason you're doing the game part in the first place. You play as 𝗰𝗿𝗶𝗁𝗀, the secret identity of the out-of-commission superhero Mecha Man. As a proposition, wanting to help you out and get your Mecha Man suit repaired and working again, you've been tasked with being the dispatcher for the heroes on the Z team for the SDN Phoenix program. Reforms ex-villains as heroes for hire. Give him a second chance type beat.
But how's that reflected in the gameplay?
You might ask, and if you didn't, keep up, man, jeez. Well, you sorta click on which guys you want to dispatch to this location, send them off, and have them come back. Do some incredibly repetitive hacking minigames only a handful of times. That's the gameplay. I mean, you can level them up and spend skill points on their stats for increased likelihood of successful missions. Up until you level up your guys to a certain point, the success of a mission is basically dependent on essentially a dice roll. But the more you increase your guys' stats, the more likely they are to succeed. There's also this synergy system that, at least to me, felt a little deceptive. Or rather, underwhelming. It felt like it was going to be set up for the potential of synergy between any of the heroes based on how much you get them to work together, or at least I thought it was going to be set up like. But in actuality, the synergy between characters is already set in stone, and you basically have to just unlock it once you get that specific pair to work together and continue to do it more and more. It's not bad, I just thought it would be more in depth than it actually was. Also, there's this other thing that is basically like a random event or something. If you dispatch a team that passes a certain skill threshold, you'll automatically fail that call. The only other version that I saw of this mechanic was... Fuck. I keep knocking shit over. This is why I don't record at my desk. The only other version of this that I saw was that in your mission success zone, or whatever you want to call it, if that intercepted with the icon that was on the graph, then when you succeed the mission, you would get like a fucking 200% XP boost or something. I've never seen something like this before in a video game, and have absolutely no idea why they do it. Maybe to get you to use the whole Z team and not just your strongest guys. Even then, shouldn't it be up to the dispatcher? Maybe influence the story or relationships you have with those heroes? Depending on if you send out this specific hero a lot, they'll like you more, and the other heroes that don't get sent out as much will start being like, why aren't you sending me out as much? Why do you like this one more? What can I do to have you pay attention to me more? You know? Having your choices matter? I don't know, something I'm thinking about for no reason at all. And fuck me, right? Like,
hello? That's the whole point of the story? Literally get real?
okay, that's fair. But just hear me out on this. Throughout this whole game, I kept asking, why was this a video game? Is that an unfair question? The gameplay was essentially nothing. Like, why couldn't this story have been a web series or a show or something? It could have been even a goddamn choose your own adventure thing. Like, in space. It could have still had the choose your own adventure of it all if they did a in space with Markiplier type thing, with choices that lead to the version of the scene that you chose. It being a video game just feels wrong to me for this specific story they wanted to tell.
Also,
I hesitate to call the part where I'm basically watching TV gameplay, even if there are parts where I can make the guy say something different. Even fucking still. Maybe there's too much. Even still, sometimes when you make a choice to say something, Robert says some extra shit that you're like, wait, hold on. I wouldn't have agreed to say that. One could argue I didn't agree to say that. Like, if you wanted this story beat to happen so bad that no matter what choice I make, the outcome is the same, why give me the illusion of choice in a video game about it? As the player of this game, why am I here? She's gonna do this anyway. And not to be a yoga ball gamer here, but doesn't this type of game design feel a little bit outdated? And like, not in a fun, nostalgic way, in a way that's like sort of the growing pains of video games coming out and trying out new things in 2011. So maybe it's like a thing that for the time was cool and interesting, but after you essentially did it, you were like, well, I understand now. I get it. I don't see why me having to walk around was necessary. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. And I'm not going to say but after that. And I'm trying to see all of the factors that went into the collapse of that company. And yeah, from everything, my voice, like on top of the already incredulous working conditions, in those conditions, they're being forced to learn how to create games in an already outdated engine, doing an outdated gameplay format. So not to be fucking red tape Charlie Moist and something to think about. I think it is.
The assumption was that more people would mean more episodes would get churned out, which means more sales, and the reality was that more people meant more time wasted training them on their unwieldy and proprietary engine, which meant less time spent per episode, which meant tighter deadlines, which meant greater crunch, which means lower quality, which means less sales. And after witnessing just how negligibly small the bonuses actually are for shipping a highly successful video game, a lot of those new employees just decided to quit. Which means a high turnover rate, which means perpetuating the previous cycle all over again, which keeps quality low. Just like
Heavily recommend watching the Super Bunny Hop video about this topic, because they go into like the full details about it with actual like sources, anonymous sources, of course, but still, that's bars. Anonymous source, of course. I'm getting a Porsche. I'm riding a horse. I'm using the Force. Honestly, felt like padding a little bit, especially the hacking minigames. And don't get it twisted. I'm not asking for something crazy like 4D chess, but I think what we got wasn't even tic-tac-toe. They changed it up in a couple creative ways, but I don't know. Is doing this like 10 times total that interesting? I will say though, if they wanted to translate how easy something like hacking is for someone like Robert, making it a minigame that someone could do with basically their eyes closed could be some ludonarrative stuff, intentional or not. Funny enough, the only hacking game I failed was for a scripted event and still happens whether or not you pass. Speaking of that, this game also has cinematic QuickTime events that can happen during the more action-heavy cutscenes where Robert's fighting and stuff like that. Notice how I said can happen, since there's an option to turn them off, and we'll get to why that's hilarious in a little bit. If they're on, you get QTs for Robert to start punching stuff. Everyone knows how QTs work. You hit the button when it tells you, otherwise you fail whatever your character was supposed to do there, or you die. Anyway, dispatches QTEs are very much like the standard ones you're probably used to. However, while they're possible to fail by being late on the timing window, it doesn't matter how early you hit the guy. I remember trying to get some B-roll for this scene here, and the game was dropping frames a bit, and during this QTE sequence, I nervously just started mashing the mouse button, and it worked. So naturally, every opportunity I could, I tested if you could just click early until the prompts show up, and sure enough, it works. Maybe it's something they'll change later on, but go ahead and try it yourself. I'm being so for real. I know I'm probably getting into nitpick territory with this observation, and also I've probably been nitpicking maybe the whole time. Still though, it's just another one of the aspects of the gameplay that makes me feel like it wasn't necessary. You can literally turn them off. It doesn't get more unnecessary than that. Can you imagine if you could turn off the QTEs in fucking Resident Evil 4? Or more appropriately, a game like Until Dawn? There'd basically be no game there. Also, like I hinted at earlier, if you turn off the QTEs, the cutscenes still have that little slow-mo that happens for when the button prompts show up, but wouldn't that take you out of it a bit? Wouldn't that slow down the flow of essentially this really cool Netflix original that you're watching? Hi, it's me from the future editing. The slow-mo part that I'm talking about seems to be only in the cutscenes that would have introduced the QTEs to get you to get accustomed to it, and it's not as drastic or intense in the rest of the cutscenes that would have them in there. Still though, there is a noticeable pause in the cutscenes where you would see the QTEs. Maybe it's not noticeable for most people, but it was incredibly noticeable for me. I don't blame them for not making it fully seamless. Kind of hard to do, in case anyone fucking cared about that. Okay, bye. But hey, why does it matter what I specifically think? This isn't my game, right? The people who put this thing together clearly put so much love into it, and it shows. I don't want to come off as a hater because I'm really not. Very embarrassingly and obviously, and I'm being so for real here, fell so hard for 𝗰𝗂𝗰𝗲𝗀 that I need life alert. I love these characters so much, and it just frustrates me that the game that this story is tied to is very underwhelming and just felt like sort of a vehicle to get to the next cutscene where the good stuff happens. Don't let some asshole with too much time on his hands tell you what to enjoy or not. I mean, I wasn't even really doing that, but like I said, or didn't, I don't remember. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum here. I simply just wanted to share my thoughts on this piece of art that I'm very passionate about. I think this shit rules. I think it would have made more sense as a show or like a web series or something. Either way, video games are so hard to make happen. It's quite literally a miracle that any video game gets released. So I respect the hell out of the team for taking a chance with this unconventional kind of game, especially since it took them so long with so many setbacks and an entire pandemic in there somewhere. Luckily, for Ad Hoc's final shot at making something before they give up, essentially, it worked out for them and it's doing really well and people are loving it, so why not? Hey, thanks for watching this incredibly rambly, annoying rant about a video game that I really like. I'm just really passionate about this thing, and I would just like to know what the hell is going on. I appreciate you listening to me ramble on for longer than I needed to about something that basically could have been a sentence, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And I'll see you whenever I do this again, I guess.